Namaste and a very warm welcome to all of you to today's session. I would like to mention that SHARAN stands for Sanctuary for Health and Reconnection to Animals and Nature. This social enterprise was started by Dr. Nandita Shah, and under her guidance, we would like to make India disease-free. And when we say disease-free, we mean not only physical diseases, but mental, emotional, psychological. Health is an all-inclusive concept. So disease-free in all aspects. Friends, because of our modern lifestyles and sometimes due to environmental factors also, our pranic energy becomes depleted. So today's session is about how to reconnect and how to improve your pranic energy. That is what today's session is all about. So let us begin. So today we are going to, let's say, ask Mother Nature to pranify us. You are asking for yourself, please pranify me. We are extending our prayers either to the divine or to nature, right? Nature is a very strong, potent energy. So we extend our prayers to her. Now, what is prana?
Yes.
So prana is the life force or life energy. Whenever someone dies, we say that uske pran pakher ud gaye, in case you're familiar with Hindi. So which actually means your prana pankh laga ke ud gaye. So your prana has left your body. But what actually is this prana? Prana is not your breath. Prana is not your soul also. But prana is very deeply connected to your breath. Your breath travels along with your prana. Or let's say prana travels along with your breath. And this is what the yogis use. When they do their meditative techniques or they follow their own path to achieving yogic powers or salvation or whatever they are working towards. So they concentrate on their breath and the prana along with breath is pushed through the spinal cord. When you have the kundalini and it is awakened, your prana is the one which helps that energy move forward. Your breath your combines with the prana and moves forward to take you to higher levels of spiritual awakening. So that is prana. But because, as I mentioned, due to, let's say, environmental factors, unclean air, unclean water, or water which does not have so much of strength and energy, your prana gets depleted. Your lifestyle is also a very important factor in that. Now, how does prana enter the body? When does it enter? Right at the time of conception, your prana has already entered. That is when the zygote, the cells, when they are merging and when they are creating a new baby, they start multiplying and they start becoming a child. So prana enters the body right at the time of conception. It may get activated later on when the mother starts feeling the movement of the baby, but it enters at the moment. It is said that the prana flows through the nadis and is stored in the chakras, in the various chakras. And you'll be surprised to know that we can either maintain it, increase it, or decrease it. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever we are going to discuss in today's session, many of you would have heard of those terms and those concepts. But bringing them together in one platform, joining the dots, is actually what makes it different. And you feel that. So that is what today's session is about. So you already know that we can increase or decrease our pranic energy, right? Going further, let us compare our human bodies with your mobile phone. So you have this mobile phone in your hand, right? We are always so addicted to it. Now, this mobile phone requires a charging. The battery has to be recharged once it goes dead. So in some phones, it may happen once in 2 days, in some once a day also, and sometimes once in 3 days. Not more than that, your battery doesn't last. In the same way, our human body is like this physical mobile phone. It carries lots of memories, videos, pictures, everything. But once you open it, there is nothing. You can't see anything. It is there hidden inside the software, not visible to the naked. In the same manner, our human body also has the prana. The pranic energy is there. It is working along with so many other components which form a human being. and it is not visible to the naked eye, but it is there. When you look at the mobile, you understand. You open it, there is nothing. But once it is charged, it has a battery, it has a SIM. Once the battery is charged, the mobile phone starts working. In the same way, our human body also has this pranic energy, which at times becomes depleted and has to be recharged. Have you heard the word pran pratishtha? See, that means something inanimate. Yes, Kanika Shakti says Ram Mandir. Yeah, any
Yeah.
temple, you have pran pratishtha, right? So what it means is something that is inanimate, made out of stone, wood, or metal. The prana, the pranic energy, can be infused into that, and then that murti or that idol starts working as a living being. That is when it has to be sort of energized daily by chanting of slokas, by serving food, and then which is distributed later on to others as a prasadam, by giving some rest time to that idol also, because there are times when the temple is closed. Nobody is allowed inside because the god is supposed to be resting. Why? Because you have performed the prana pratishtha on it. In the same manner, the human body also has to be replenished with prana, which gets depleted. Now, how can we replenish it? Sun is one very potent energy. When you look at the rising sun, your prana gets replenished. Even though you may not feel it, but you feel the energy with it. It's a rising sun, not the setting sun. It's ideally the rising sun, which infuses your body with prana. Then water. But what kind of water? It should not be your tap water or RO water that all of us are used to drinking, because that is demineralized. It has nothing inside. It is treated water. But as you saw in the previous screen, if it is natural, fresh spring water from the mountains, it really, really energizes you. How many of you have been to mountains up in the north and drank fresh water from the waterfalls there? That cold, sweet water, once it touches your body, don't you feel energized? I have had it, and it is the feeling is exhilarating to say the least. You feel so energized, and many of us, when we go to mountains, we fill up our bottles with water, isn't it? When we come back down to the plains, so that is pure water, natural water that contains all the minerals that are essential for your body to develop that pranic energy. So that is the water which is useful for health. However, those of us who are living in cities, we don't have that option. We can do it only when we go up in the mountains, right? Then nature. Nature is a very strong force. In fact, when you are close to trees, and the bigger and the larger the trees with the thickest of trunks, when you're near those trees, when you're sitting under those trees, you feel really very energized and very. How many of you have experienced that? That replenishes your prana also. The bigger the trees, the older the trees, the more you feel energized. And I have been lots of, say, I have done trips where I've been inside forests and all. It is very energizing. In fact, in Japan, it is called forest breathing. So those of the Japanese who are very stressed, who have longer working hours than many of us in many other parts of the world, they feel very stressed. They are advised to go and stay a few days inside forests, walk in forest pathways, sit under trees, and look at nature from their stays so that they feel energized. It's a treatment methodology in Japan. We all know it as part of our, let's say, traditional culture, and we may have experienced it. Never actually maybe connected with it. Okay, this is increasing my prana. I like it. But we take it more as a holiday. We have this experience though. From air, air is a bestower of prana. Now, when we live in cities, the air is polluted also. There are lots of vehicles which emit so much of poisonous gases that the city air does not rejuvenate. But when you go to open fields, like the image here on the screen, that really replenishes your pranic energy. In fact, we have a breatharian, Elitom El Ami, who has not eaten anything in ages. In decades, he has not eaten anything. And he's full of energy. You know, Elitom Ami is not the only one. We have an Indian also, Prahlad Jani, who is said to have not eaten anything in decades. You can search for these two people on Google and they are there. Not only these two, there are several yogis also who go without food and water, and they are able to be alive. Not only just alive, they are full of energy. All right. So, my dear participants, get ready for a beautiful, lovely story, unbelievable but true. Because I'm not the one to have created this story. The story exists and it is part of Sikhism. Now, the 10 Sikh gurus, seven out of the 10 Sikh gurus that we've had in India, and India has been really a very fortunate country to have been blessed by them. In Punjab, they have constructed several Sarovars. And this is the story of one such Sarovar, and it is named as Santokh Sar. What happened was, before the construction of this Sarovar, land was being found for constructing the same. And at some point, the fifth Sikh Guru, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, he reached this forested land. Remember that at that time, at the time of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, India was not a very populated country. So many areas were still very deeply forested. So he reached this land which was abounding in trees, and plants were growing there, trees were growing there, and he tells his associates, his Sikhs, that start digging here. We'll construct a Sarovar here. So his associates start digging. Some days pass. Let's say that a month passes. They come to him and they say that Guruji, we have dug enough, but there's no sight of water. What do we do now? Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, keep digging, keep digging. And the digging continues. Some more days pass, or you can say months pass. They dig deeper and deeper, remove all the trees, remove all the plants from the area to some other site. Yet there is no sight of any water. They again come to Guru Arjan Dev Ji and say, what are we supposed to do now? We have dug so deep, but nothing is visible. Guru Ji says, dig more, dig more. And they continue digging deeper and deeper they go. At a certain point, they see a sort of cave-like structure built there, and its mouth is sealed shut with a large rock. Now, they come back to Guru Arjan Dev Ji and they say that Guruji, we found this enclosure. What do we do now? So Guru Arjan Dev says, remove it, remove the stone. At that time, there was Baba Buddha also, who was still alive. Now, this is a long story. Baba Buddha was a very ancient associate and had been living since the times of Guru Nanak. And he lived to have quite a long life, around 120 years. So he was alive at the time of Guru Arjan Dev also. So they removed this rock, which is covering this enclosure. And there, inside the enclosure, lo and behold, they'd see this old yogi sitting in the yogic Padmasana posture, and he's not dead. The best part is he's alive. So they immediately go and report to Guru Arjan Dev Ji, who prescribes some herbal concoction to make the body of this yogi live again. Remember that the yogi is not dead, he's alive. And he's sitting inside this enclosure, this cave-like structure, since for so much of earth to have accumulated on top of him and for trees to grow, and yet for him to be alive. He had been there for thousands and thousands of years. Inside this enclosure, which is shut tight by a rock, the enclosure is not caving in on him. Remember, that is also there. When so much of earth is around you, whatever enclosure you sit in, it is likely to cave in, but it has not happened. It is said that when the yogi's body was rendered more pliant, when his entire body was massaged with this herbal concoction, and he removed his position of Padmasana, he came to life. He was a very aged old man, and he had been sitting in this posture for thousands of years. He opened his eyes and he says, who is the Guru? which age is this? The Sikhs tell him that this is Kali Yuga and Guru Arjan Dev is the living master. Then the yogi says, my pranam to him. Can I meet him? Baba Buddha says, yes, why not? And Guru Arjan Dev makes his appearance. Then this yogi gives his name as Santaka or Santoka or Santosh. That is why the Sarovar is named as Santosh on his name. And he narrates his story, saying that thousands of years before, his own guru, when he asked him, when will I get freedom from this cycle of life and death? He was told by his guru that I'll bless you with a never withering body. You will be remaining alive. During Kali Yuga, Guru Arjan Dev will come and he will show you the way to freedom from birth and death. So, enclosure kind of a thing, a cave-like structure is constructed around him. He sits in Padmasana, the yogic posture, and he sat there for thousands and thousands of years, without air, without water, without food. Earth, tons and tons of earth piled on top of it. As it normally happens with anything that has, let's say, been left there. When he was alive and when the enclosure was constructed at that time, maybe that was the level of land. Over a period of thousands of years, more and more earth came to be deposited on it. Trees started growing, plants started growing, and it became a forest. Guru Arjan Dev knew the purpose of life of this yogi. So he appears before him and he instructs Baba Buddha to assist him while he sits in meditation, teaches him the purpose of life, and gives him the mantra for meditation. His soul eventually leaves the body with assistance from Baba Buddha. So, this is the story of the construction of Santosh. Now, why am I narrating this story here? Can you tell me why am I narrating this story? This was not really a storytelling session, right? This is just to tell you, my dear participants, that nature provides food. You derive energy from anywhere in the cosmos also. That is why this yogi was able to live for thousands of years without food, without water, without fresh air, without seeing and talking to anybody. He's sitting in Padmasana and he's gone into a samadhi. But life has kept him alive. Isn't this unbelievable? This is a very wonderful story about how you pranify yourself with assistance from nature and your firm faith in the divine. You derive energy from the cosmos also. See, when you're in a mother's womb, you're alive, right? Prana flows through you. You can perhaps from the 4th month onwards hear noises coming from outside. Dreaming, the fetus is laughing, but the fetus is most importantly alive. So that energy, that pranic energy, flows through an unborn child also in the mother's womb and keeps it alive for 9.5 months, prepares his body for coming out and living in this world. Isn't it? And where is he deriving his energy from? Food, air, everything is being provided for by the mother, right? Through the placenta, through the umbilical cord. But pranic energy flows through him, assisted by Mother Nature, by the divine, by the cosmos. You derive energy, prana, from food also. See, all of us derive our prana from food also. Through food is essential for most of us to survive. We can initially learn to go without food. Let's say we can give up one meal, maybe dinner. I have given up dinner for the last 8-10 years. Unless and until I'm in a social milieu, I don't have dinner. And I don't feel weak or less energetic because I'm not eating. But there are people, as I said, who go completely without food also. But what kind of food? It should be food which is alive. Microgreens, sprout, green leaves, salads, etc. give you a lot of prana. They are full of prana. When we cook our food, the food actually, you can say that it dies. Certain vitamins and minerals are lost depending upon the amount of heat we give and for the longer duration we keep it on the gas. Most of us are used to eating cooked food, but at Sharan, we generally advise you to have sprouts, salads, fresh greens as smoothies. Why? To give you more pranic energy because we can immediately connect with it, right? We are not at that stage of evolution where we say that, okay, I'm going to derive prana from nature. We are learning about it. But how much we can actually do it, that depends from person to person. When something has just sprouted, it has the maximum potential to break through and come out, to sprout, to be born. And just born has the maximum amount of energy. So at Sharan, we always tell you that depend on salads and greens, smoothies, and fruits to give you energy. Pranify yourself. You derive prana from holy places also, from churches, from monasteries, from gurudwaras, from Jain temples or from Hindu temples, or even from, let's say, when you go to a worship place from Islam. You derive prana from there if you go with a pure feeling. You derive prana from reading holy books also, whether it is the Gita, or it is the Quran, or it is the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, or it is the Bible. By reading holy books also, you rejuvenate yourself, re-energize yourself, you get prana, you receive prana even from meeting or hearing holy people. Now, Shri Ravi Shankar or Mahavatar Babaji, D.K. Shivani Ji, Sadguru Jaggi Vasudev, or Paramhamsa Yogananda are people that I have heard of and I have read about them. So I'm mentioning these people. But there may be several more in this world alive at this time who increase your pranic energy. In fact, when we connect with people who have stronger willpower, you pranify yourself. Your energy increases. People who don't gossip about others, people who don't speak ill of others, they are generally people who have a high pranic energy. If we can't meet these people directly or personally in our lives, my suggestion to you would be to surround yourself with those who are very strong-willed in a positive way. They want to do good to others. They think good of others. They don't gossip. They don't speak ill of others very frequently. Those are the people we should try to surround ourselves with. Because as they say in Hindi, Sangat ka asar hota hai. Now, we come to another aspect of prana. This is also very interesting, my dear participants. How many types of prana are there according to you? You think there are prana types also? There are 5 types of prana. There are 5 more types, the minor types. We are not going to take up everything in today's session, but we stick to these 5 basic types of prana. One is called just prana. The second is called apana. The third is called udana. The fourth is called samana. And the fifth is called vyana. Now, what do these types of prana do impact us? And what can we do to correct them? Let's learn about what they do inside our body so we can know how to understand them and use them better. The prana, the first type of prana, which is simply called as prana, is responsible for your breathing. It operates from the chest region above, lungs and above. The second is called apana. Apana operates from the navel region below. The third is called udana. This is also operating from your chest cavity upwards. Samana operates around your navel region in the center of your body. And vyana operates all around for the circulation. Now, what are their functions? Whenever you eat food, the prana helps you take food down the esophagus. So whatever goes in, whether it is air, water, or food, prana is responsible for that. Samana is operating around your navel region. Your entire stomach region is operated, let's say, guided by the samana prana. And that is responsible for facilitating the digestion, the fight with the pathogens, the absorption of nutrients. Samana is responsible for that. Vyana is responsible all over for circulating the nutrients, the oxygen, blood, etc. Apana performs the function of elimination. So whatever is that is eliminated from your body, Apana is responsible for that. Now, what gets eliminated? Urine, stool, male semen, and also the baby. It's that elimination function is performed by Apana. So whenever your prana is depleted or is not functioning properly, any of these activities which the prana performs inside your body, that will get impacted. Now you can understand it better by thinking of a piece of wood, right? So take a piece of wood. You can either make a bed out of it, or a stool, or a chair, or a table. So prana is a life force or life energy, but inside the body, it has several, let's say, tentacles or several branches, and they all are responsible for different activities. The minor pranas are also there, and they are also responsible for certain activities. So if your pranic energy is depleted, these are likely to get impacted. Udana, which is responsible for speech, memory, brain function, and articulation. Now, when the soul leaves the body, it is the Udana which takes it out. It also has that responsibility. Isn't it amazing how nature has created us? Now comes the most important part, let's say. How can we increase our prana? One is walking barefoot. As we become more westernized, we tend to have their thought processing, the West's thought processing ingrained in us. It gets ingrained in us. And we feel that our legs become muddy, they become soiled, it's not good, it's dirty. So we don't walk barefoot. We tend to wear those rubber flip-flops. But to increase our prana, this is linked with earthing also, you have to be barefoot. And barefoot where? Most of us are city dwellers. We are living on second floor, third floor, fourth floor, 19th floor of a building. Does walking barefoot inside our own homes help? It helps because you're not wearing your rubber flip-flops, right? The most harmful thing is that rubber chappal. But walking barefoot on sand, on seaside, why? Because the earth has a natural negative charge. It has a boundless quantity of electrons. And we have a positive charged body in our normal metabolism. So when we walk barefoot, immediately electrons from the earth gets absorbed into our body through the soul. And they bring down inflammation. They bring down our anxiety, bring down our stress. When they bring these things down, our pranic energy lifts up. Now, this is the most harmful thing ever invented. At least in our homes, we don't keep our homes fully carpeted. That is the best part. Walking on carpet, on rubber flip-flops can be very damaging for the body. Whenever possible, stay barefoot. You may go and wash your feet if you feel that your soles are dirty before climbing onto the bed. At night, before sleeping, if you're living on the ground floor of a house, it's better to walk barefoot on the ground. If you're living on the 7th floor of a building or a 19th floor also, try your best to not wear those rubber chappals. Your body is charged by the electromagnetic fields around us. The static electricity in bedroom, in office, your mobile, that has radiation. Electromagnetic frequency is there. So slowly and steadily, it disturbs your sleep patterns. You're unable to sleep. In fact, how many of you have heard that you should not have TV in your bedrooms? It creates an electromagnetic field around you, and you won't be able to sleep properly, isn't it? Especially when you're close to water, natural water sources. That is very rejuvenating and pranifying effect on your body. Walking on pebbles, walking on sand. Those of you who live near seashores, they can easily walk on sand. Wet your feet in the seawater and then walk on sand. Barefoot walking restores the body's natural internal electrical stability and rhythms. You sleep better, you respond better, you interact better, and you are calm. How many of you actually agree? How many of you have felt, I walk barefoot at home. I don't wear my rubber chappals. They are there, but they are sitting somewhere safely. See, I have noticed that those of you who have joined from Maharashtra, from Mumbai onwards, these areas, your feet don't get dirty even at home. So you can safely avoid wearing flip-flops. In case you fear that your feet are getting dirty, then before going to bed, before lifting your legs up and putting it on the bed, you may wash your but try not to wear that rubber flip-flop. I feel my body getting heated up when I wear those rubber chappals. So I have avoided that in my life, and I feel perfectly fine and healthier when I step on the cold room, the cold concrete floor, barefoot. Walking barefoot in forested areas, completely in nature, corrects the electron deficiencies to reduce inflammation, anxiety, and stress, and thereby improving your pranic energy. Now look at this image. Your children are happier, healthier, more grounded. Do you see any unhappy child? They may not appear to be very rich, right, from the image, but they are extremely happy and they seem very healthy also. Walking barefoot promotes the normal functioning of the body system. So digestive and immune systems are greatly improved, thereby improving your pranic levels, pranic energy. Now, just think of it. You may not have connected it, but it actually works like this. When you go down south, most of the temples, the big temples at least in southern India, they have this Sarovar or pond or small lake, rather a pond called the Pushkarni. In ancient times, when we used to visit temples, people used to walk long distances barefoot, and their feet and body used to get muddy and soiled also. So they were expected to wash their feet or have a bath in the temple Pushkarni and then go inside the temple to visit. In fact, even the Golden Temple in Punjab, Amritsar, has a Sarovar. You're expected to wash your feet. Many people take bath in the Sarovar and then they visit the temple. How many of you have done that? Dipped your feet in water and then walk barefoot. That really multiplies and amplifies your pranic energy. And our ancestors are so intelligent that they were actually aware of that. And we were never told the reasons why you have to wash your feet in the Pushkarni and then go to the temple. But we were always told that do this, don't ask questions. Haven't you heard of it? How many of you have had this interest, this kind of a lesson from family members? See, our ancestral wisdom is actually truly magnificent, and it is aimed at making us live disease-free life. When we stop believing in that, when we stop doing that, we are more prone to diseases, illnesses, depleting energies, etc. Right? They used to walk barefoot also. Now we are living close to temples, so we get down from our cars, park our cars, maybe leave our slipper in cars, and then walk towards the temple. Even if that is done, if it is done barefoot, it's good enough. But the Pushkarni, which is constructed in ancient times, has its own reasons. The Sarovars constructed have their own reasons. Then, secondly, spend time in the open. Stand in the open, go in the open, as I said, be with nature. Third is eat food with your hands. Now, when you're eating food with your hands, what do? Use all 5 fingers. Don't use 2 or 3 fingers. Why? Because when you use all 5 fingers, you form this mudra called the Samana mudra, which activates the Samana prana, which is located in your abdomen. So you look at your food, digestive fluids are secreted by your body. You're eating with your hands. You use all 5 fingers. Now, I'm not saying you place your palm inside the food, but as this gentleman is eating in the image, use all 5 fingers. Don't use 2 or 3 fingers. Use all 5. Touch the food with your hands. At least in the privacy of your own homes, where you are comfortable being yourself, I would strongly suggest that all of us should eat food with our hands, because that activates the Samana prana and gives direction to the stomach to digest the food properly. How many of you actually eat with your own hands? I don't eat with a spoon in my own home. Yes, it's a mudra. It's called Samana mudra. As I said, ancient wisdom is magnificent. Chime Varghese says, I do. See, when you're in a social menu, then I can understand that you have to eat with a spoon. But in your own home, please eat with your hands. Because when you join all the 5 fingers together, when you're feeding your little baby also, you pick up food with your hands. Don't pick up with a spoon. Try, if possible. Your hands are foiling the Samana mudra, not the child's, but still, try eating with your hands at least when you are in the privacy of your own home. You're activating a mudra. Samana mudra is formed, giving direction to the Samana prana in the stomach that please digest properly. This food is coming. The five elements in the body are covered by the five fingers in our hands. And that activates the prana, the pranic energy also. Now, this food is not advisable because when it is coming to your plate, it is already dead. It's not alive. It's been killed and cooked. So it's not going to amplify your prana. Do you agree with me? Same goes for milk products also. It's something which is separated from the animal. It is not something which is live. It will not give you any prana. On the contrary, it is likely to deplete it. I'm vegan since the last 5 years, and I feel more strong and energetic than I ever was. Even when I was in school, as a 14-year-old girl, I didn't feel as strong or as energetic as I feel now. Then you can look at the star-filled night sky. Remember the image of the cosmos? You derive prana from there also. Then do anulom vilom, do meditation also. How many of you do anulom vilom on a regular basis? You're balancing the two sides of the body. The Ida and the Pingala nadis are balanced when you do anulom vilom. And the increasing your prana. When you meditate, that time also through meditation, you increase your pranic energy. We must connect with our roots, with our nature to increase our pranic energy, our prana. You can also say the following affirmations. Stand in the open, palms open in receiving posture. Even when you sit in meditation, you can do it. But when you're in a forest or when you're in the midst of nature, at that time, if you do it, it's very effective. And you can say it in any language you want. If you remember a Sanskrit shloka, you can use that. You can use English, Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, any language you speak. Divine Son, Divine Mother, thank you for being there for me, for giving me food, water, and allowing me to build shelter on you. Please heal and rejuvenate. When you say it with faith and conviction, then nature is there for you. Forces of nature activate themselves and heal your body. Of course, it is best done with a proper diet also, because at this moment, we are all dependent upon primarily our food to increase our prana, right? You can prepare your own infused water also, because water carries energy. How many of you have heard that when you are not friends with somebody, when there is certain animosity, we say that hum uske ghar ka pani bhi nahi pite. We don't drink even water from that person's house. Why? Because water carries a lot of energy. That is why when we go to a temple, we are given this kind of an infused water, at least in southern part of India. Take a liter of water. This is just an approximative recipe. Add 2-3 green cardamoms, powder it and add it. Add edible camphor. Edible camphor is available on Amazon. If you just type edible camphor, it is there. Add some tulsi leaves. And the taste and this perfume, the odor of this water, the aroma of this water is amazing. When I go to temples and this water is given to me, I feel like having a glass full, not in a small spoon. How many of you have had it? Tell me. Yes, it can be given to kids also. Yes. Keep water in front of God, add tulsi and shlokas. Yes. If you have saffron, I have added saffron also in this image. Please try it. You can take a screenshot of this. It is called tirtham. Yes. Only spoonful. Yes. Add lesser quantity of cardamom and edible camphor, and you can have slightly more also in terms of quantity. It's edible camphor, it's a very small pinch that you have to add. Don't add too much because it has a very strong aroma. When you want to have it throughout the day, reduce the amount of edible camphor. Add tulsi, maybe avoid saffron because it's not for daily consumption. Not many people will be able to afford it. But you can add cardamom to your daily water. Depends upon how big your container is. And you can have it. Add some tulsi leaves, add cardamom to the water, add a very small pinch of edible camphor and bless the water. Let the water carry your pure energy of love for your family ladies. And then serve them this water. Mix it with your normal water and serve it to them. You can do that. Then, since we derive energy primarily from food, switch to whole food. We have lots of videos and talks on SHARAN. If you go to SHARAN YouTube channel, you can subscribe to that, participate in our talks, and learn about whole food. You can learn it from our website also. Then it should be plant-based. It should be organic. Then you have to substitute only vitamin B12 and D3. This is for increasing your pranic energy. And I can tell you from my experience that last 5 years, earlier I used to catch cold every year. From the time I turned vegan, only once I have caught cold. And I've never been literally sick throughout in the last 5 years. I'm perfectly healthy, no medicine, nothing. Switching to this food has been a great turning point for me. And there is no turning back. I don't miss the doodh wali chai, tea with milk. I don't drink. If I drink, it is plant-based milk. If ever I feel that I have that craving, it's plant milk. And then lots of salads, B12 and D3. And then you're set for the whole of your life. You won't be sick. Trust me. It's my own personal experience. Ladies and gentlemen, be healthy and heal by connecting to nature. If you find around you a strong-willed person who doesn't gossip, doesn't speak ill, try to associate yourself with such a person. If you're live with awareness, and when you are on the ground, walk bare feet, not on asphalt, but on sand, river, pebbles, soil. Do a bit of gardening, at least let the hands touch soil. It's all very helpful. Stare at the star-filled sky, do anulom vilom, do your meditation daily. In fact, I'm a meditation teacher, and from in the month of August, at the end of August, I'm going to have a storytelling session for grown-ups. You may join that session. That is for free, 5 to 7 days, daily a story. And this is to help you maintain your faith in the divine and continue your meditation practice. And these stories are not my imagination. These are all real events of people who were associated with saints. And these were experiences shared by them, written here, written there. Those are the experiences that I'm going to share. So you may join those sessions also to stay on this path. And I'm also a vegan soap maker. I'm going to have a soap making session. This is the paid session starting in the month of August. In case you want, you may join that. Thanks a lot. Namaste for joining.